look here.
Stand by.
One for C-Lab, two for Joy Eagle, three for Wolverine to round out the trio in this episode. Everybody dies.
Broadcasting live from inside the Power Band, this is The Blah. In this episode, everybody dies. I'm your host, Kevin, also known as the Wolverine, along with my intrepid companions, Combos.
Yes, have some.
And the insufferable Slave 2.
'Tis true. What's up?
Welcome to the show, folks. This week, we are covering the very important 1984 classic science fiction comedy film, Ghostbusters, starring Ernie Hudson, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, Annie Potts, Sigourney Weaver, Rick Moranis, and a whole host of wonderful performers. Let's get into it with a little high level.
And Jennifer Runyon.
And, oh my God, I had the biggest crush on her when I was a kid. Oh my God,
No.
she's so adorable.
I love that. That's a great scene.
Okay.
High level. Great fucking movie. Next.
Great fucking movie. Next. Great fucking movie. Next.
Yeah. Very good. Great. Good. Great.
Good and great. And
Excellent.
Okay.
I don't know. It's like I'm making this story up in my head, but this feels like a prime entry on the list of like the invention of the blockbuster, along with Spielberg and Lucas and stuff. Like, this is such a blockbuster of a movie. Love the shit out of it.
Dude, in a delicious early nugget, this movie was the highest grossing comedy ever until it was dethroned 6 years later by Home Alone.
Wow.
That's how good it is. Right?
That's wild.
Never gave any of that shit not even one thought.
No, it's true. But it did really well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's exactly the kind of movie that I don't know. It's like a love. It's made with so much love that I'm just glad that it, caught lightning in a bottle. Like, it's just such a fucking fun movie.
So fucking good, man. So fucking good.
It's got all the things.
It's got all the things, right?
Mm-hmm.
It really does. It's just, iconic, I guess. It's such a part of the lexicon here at the show, part of the lexicon of my life. It's just so good, man. So much great comedy stylings came out of this movie, and some pretty groundbreaking special effects, I think, too.
Yeah, sure.
And some really good music too, man. Great score, great soundtrack, great everything.
Adam Savage just had a video with the prop auction house where there was an original slammer from this Ghostbusters that was from a cut scene, but it was really cool to see the thing up close. Like, it was like a foam covered and stuff. Like, usually that foam shit falls apart, but it was in really good condition. Yeah, it was cool.
Wow. How about that, man?
It was super cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I mean, even just the
cool, man.
I think the thing that I caught this viewing, maybe it's kind of a high level adjacent 11sies, is like, I really enjoy how quickly the movie gets you into the ghost space, where you're just like,
yes,
there's just like, everyone's like, oh, okay, everyone believes in ghosts now. It's like, oh, there's a ghost. Oh, there's Ghostbusters. Oh, there's ghosts everywhere because, the Keymaster and the Gatekeeper are bringing them all about and all that kind of stuff. But it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, cool, ghosts. Let's do this. Yeah, all right. Everyone knows about ghosts now. I really like that.
Yeah.
It just gets you on board really quickly. And you just let go of the, is it real, is it not real kind of shit,
Yeah, absolutely. It's really good. I mean, obviously, massive suspension of disbelief, but like the pacing in the film is so good. You know what I mean? And it lends well. I mean, it serves it well. There's definitely some slower moments, man, but those little valleys are sort of balanced out by the more exciting parts, which is good. It moves along at a great clip, man. It's like I don't know. Like, when I was watching it, I was like, okay. And it's like, an hour and 45 minutes. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay. And then all of a sudden I was like, we were at the Marshmallow Man. I was like, whoa, what the fuck?
Goes fast.
Really? Like that quick? Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, there you go.
maybe just on that, the structure of it is cool. Like I don't know, it's the Sigourney Weaver, Bill Murray kind of courtship stuff, and then there's the Bill Murray, William Atherton antagonist stuff. You take those two pieces, and it just like it takes what could be a boring rinse and repeat ghost stuff and makes it a hell of a lot more interesting. And then you've got the like Rick Moranis as someone who's crushing on Sigourney Weaver but never has a chance. Like there's a lot of little team ups character wise that just make it so funny, dude. Yeah. Not to mention the dynamic between the dudes.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that a while ago, not too long ago, on another movie where there wasn't a ton of interactions, but when you write them well, they work, and you get a lot of connection with the characters, and you care about the characters, and that makes the film even better, and more endearing. I don't know. We've been talking about Spider-Man on and off the last couple of weeks, and like I watched No Way Home this morning, actually.
Is that the first one?
I was like, man, the new one with all the three Spider-Men.
The live action one. Yeah,
The third Tom Holland one. Yeah, the third Tom Holland one. And I was like, I was really into it, man. Like, I was like, this is so good, and it's so good because, like, the character interactions are really good, like the dynamics between like Toby and his rogues, and like Garfield and his rogues, and Holland and blah blah blah. Like and Holland and the other Spider-Man. Like it's good. Like that's how you get to a good place in a movie, man. Is when you're writing a good story and you have great character interactions. You know what I mean? Like that makes it work. And even if they're small, great actors can do a lot with that. You know what I mean? To circle back to where you started, Chad. And this movie is no exception, dude. Like Rick Moranis is like. He's like a 10-ton hammer, dude, and he's probably got like 15 minutes of total screen time. If that, dude. Yes, and he barely speaks. And really, like, Sigourney Weaver really doesn't have a lot of screen time either, man, So, you got a dynamic with her and Tully. You got a dynamic with her and Bill Murray. And thank God they don't spend more, as a quick side note, time on, like, this love story between her and Bill Murray. It kind of just goes as it does, which I like. You know what I mean? And he gets the girl in the end. Like that's fun. But these characters don't have a ton of screen time. They don't have a ton of interaction, man. But these great actors really make it happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt.
That said, I wish Ernie Hudson had more screen time. And
sure.
I heard that he was not into that because originally the role was much larger.
Yeah, I feel like I blend the first two movies together in my mind in terms of like screen time and character development stuff. So. But yeah, you're right. He's basically not really. I mean, he gets a little bit, but not much.
Who? Ernie Hudson?
Yeah.
Yeah. The in another nugget, that part was supposed to go to Eddie Murphy.
Really?
Like I couldn't believe that when I read it. Yeah, and he.
I'm glad it isn't Eddie Murphy. I love Eddie Murphy, but I'm glad it's not Eddie Murphy.
Me too, and I think so originally the part was larger, and then they cut it down. They revised the script to give Venkman more. And Murphy backed out to do Beverly Hills Cop, and it was given to Ernie Hudson, and he took it because the part was so large. And then when they rewrote it and decided to give Venkman more, he was bummed out, and I think understandably so. Like he's always beloved as one of the Ghostbusters, dude. Like I've always, every time I see him, I'm like, dude, that's the guy from the Ghostbusters. Or at least when I was a kid. And so who knew who he was, you know what I mean? But like, I don't know. I just found that interesting, and I do wish that he had a little bit more. I feel like his was a little like they cut too much of it. You know what I mean? I think Eddie Murphy would have been terrible. It would have made it into a disaster. To be completely honest with you,
he's too goofball. I mean, I don't know. That's me being a bit mean. Like I don't know, but I'm glad it is the way it is. I guess.
It would have been too many superstars. Like he was a superstar at the time. And like you would have had a superstar like him, and Murray was really strong too. Whereas Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis know how to be like, okay, I'm not going to try to fight your energy. I'm just going to play the character down. You know what I mean? Like ensemble like. You know what I mean? They're not going to compete. Whereas Murray and Murphy would have been competing the whole
Yeah,
time.
they would have been clashing for
shit.
sure.
It
I
would
would
have been a
imagine.
fucking shit show. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm totally guessing, but I think you're right.
Yeah, I think it would have sucked. I don't think it would have done as well as it did.
And maybe that's just the.
All I know is only one person can deliver the line. That's a big Twinkie, and that's Ernie Hudson.
Fair enough.
Eddie Murphy would not have
No, there's no way.
No,
he would have. I love Eddie, but I feel like he would have overdone it.
He would have had a shit-eating grin
definitely.
like that.
Something
like laugh with it, you know.
Yeah, there's something exactly. There's something great about the subtlety of Ernie Hudson's performance that balances things out nicely.
Absolutely.
It's also like he's exhaling smoke and smoking when he does it. I don't know, it just makes it better. And like Eddie Murphy has a much higher voice and a higher register, man. And
Sure.
It would have been like I just watched Trading Places. Thank you, Chad. And
You're welcome.
you know, he would have been like, damn, man, that's a big fucking thing. You know what I mean? Like something like that. It just wouldn't have hit as hard. I think the only guy that could replace Ernie Hudson.
It kind of sounded like a Paxton as Winston.
Did it? Well, that's because I'm too white.
Yeah,
I guess.
that's fair enough.
Maybe I'm too white to do that, but I think the only guy that could possibly have swapped out. Nobody asked for this, but I'm going to say it anyway. They could have swapped out for Ernie Hudson is Keith David. That's it.
Yeah, sure.
When Ben said that, I immediately thought of Keith. Right? I thought of Keith David delivering that line.
His voice is too sexy.
He could do it. Yeah, but it's really deep and breathy.
I feel like it would take away. Everyone would be like, just keep talking, man. He's got the best voice.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
He definitely can be really funny, man. He was great in Community. Ernie Hudson.
Totally.
Not Ernie Hudson. Keith David.
Wait, who? Keith David or Ernie Hudson?
Keith David.
Keith David.
Nice.
Because the Ernie thing that comes to me is like I think what I like about what Winston brings to the movie, despite the fact it was cut back, is like, I don't know, he feels like kind of the heart of the movie, you know, where there's a scene with him talking about like the apocalypse with Aykroyd, and then he's like, I love this job, you know, like he's like, there's just so much, I don't know, there's just so much love that he brings to it. I really like it, you know. He's
kind of the audience in this movie.
Him and Venkman for different reasons, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He's kind of like you in the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Right? Because like he walks in the door like a third of the way into the movie, and he represents like the regular people coming in off the street to
looking for a job, yeah.
Enter this world, right? And you know, he's like, I mean, they don't say this. While Chad's dying, I did a little bit of reading, and you know, I guess the backstory is like he was an army vet and he was this and he was a construction worker. They don't really get into all of that in the movie, man, but he's a very like, you know, regular person who like needs a job, dude. So like you kind of go on the journey with him quite a little bit. And that's why I think too, I wish there was more of him. They didn't cut quite so much of it, you know?
Well, I mean,
because it's cool to see it.
He just comes in off the street looking for a job, and it's like, you know, I'll do whatever needs doing, you know, and then all of a sudden he's fucking blasting ghosts, dude. I mean, that would be a pretty sick job to jump into, you know.
Bombing around, right? Bombing around town in that fucking Ecto, dude.
Dude, no doubt. You'd be pretty hyped, to be fair. And you'd be a hero. You know, you go from a nothing burger, you know, nom-vet presumably, to the hero of New York City, you know? You're like it's like you're on the fucking baseball team. You know, you're on the Yankees and you go to a restaurant. Everyone's like, hey! So he'd be pumped.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Absolutely,
good for him is what I'm saying. Good for him.
I agree. And that's a perfect segue into another early nugget. This movie, there's a lot of good nuggets for this movie.
You get
there's
some
a
serious
fuckload
nuggets, bro.
of them too. I did. I kind of really paid attention to them. So the nugget was that, and I wasn't going to say this one, but he apparently after this movie came out, he used to go to this store in his neighborhood, and like the guy at the store started telling people where he lived. Like,
Oh,
he
really?
had so many people, come to his house to talk to him because they loved him from the movie, man, that he had to sell the place and leave.
Yeah, fair enough. It's like, all right, man, like, please don't do that.
Right?
Yeah, right.
I think it was like all good, at the beginning, and then it just became
Sure,
like,
yeah.
whoa, dude, this is too
And then
much.
it's quickly it's like the fucking people hanging out in front of Justin Bieber's house or whatever. The dude just like wants to fucking walk his dog or something. I find that so bizarre, man. Really, like maybe we don't need to go down that rabbit hole, but like parasocial relationship stuff is just like fucking like stalking celebs. Sure, but it's the like Casey Neistat shit where like there'll be 20 people standing outside of his office all fucking day just in case he walks out, and I'm like, what's gonna happen when he walks out? Like, and they're like, oh, hey Casey, it's just like fucking leave the guy alone, dude. Like, Justin Bieber's fucking brushed against my arm. I'm never going to wash it again. Just fucking leave the guy alone. Holy shit, people.
Yeah. Chris Cooper signed my scars, that kind of thing.
Exactly. So that sucks. I mean, Ernie Hudson probably would have been like pretty hyped that, he's getting some recognition, but then it's just like, I'm out of here.
Sure.
It's like the corner store dude that told where he lives, like probably had the best of intentions and was like, I know I'm on the inside, but like that would get out of control pretty quickly, I would imagine. It's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, it is a bummer. But anyway, that I mean, and that happens, in the movie as well. You know what I mean? And like, you're psyched for him and you're cheering him on because he's the audience. He's you,
Yeah.
In many, many ways.
I had never considered that. It makes total sense. I always assumed it was the classic, you identify as Venkman because he's, charming and gets the girl kind of classic bullshit tropery, but a tropiary.
Sure. It's amazing how, to me anyway, how much this show makes me think about these movies in a different way a lot of the time. You know what I mean?
How so?
Like,
I mean, that's definitely a thing. For the detriment of the movie watching sometimes, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like just that, what we just talked about right there, with Ernie and the sort of perspective, man. I think that like he, I never really thought about that a whole lot, as I watched this movie, but it's like, as we sit and talk about it and then I think while I'm talking, it's like, there's a lot more there.
Yeah.
In a lot of these movies.
And the Band of Misfits thing is a different piece. It's probably a bit more obvious, but I enjoy the Band of Misfits thing. Yeah, I was looking at Annie Potts when I said that.
Yeah, I think I think one of the big appeals of this movie is that they're these misfits, man. I mean, like I think like we talked about in Real Genius how like those guys were the cool nerds, you know what I mean? But like these guys are kind of the really cool nerds. You know what I mean? Like these are not only the cool nerds, but like these nerds come in and they literally save the city at the end of the movie, dude. And they kick like literal ass. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that I'm certain that resonated with a lot of people.
Sure.
It certainly did. It certainly did with that wacky band of kids from Stranger Things. You know what I mean?
Dude, I love that shit. When they're arguing about who's going to be Venkman, it was so fucking funny, man.
I'm Venkman. Yeah, right. But I mean, like that's all of that stuff is true. Like, and Annie Potts too. I mean, like she's like the female Spangler for crying out loud. I mean, she might as well be, sort of, except that she plays racquetball. I also play racquetball. I fucking love that line, dude.
She's so good.
She's so funny, dude, So, I don't know.
Did you guys watch the cartoons?
Oh my God, man.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
yes.
No, me too, yeah. Because that was it's like Ghostbusters 1 and 2 and the cartoons all kind of like blend together for me because I was so young and just consumed all of it, Like obviously watching it now, you can keep it separated, but like, I don't know.
Oh,
Hardly disagree.
There's so much more with Janine in the cartoon, and Moranis. I don't even remember if they did the voices. I'd imagine probably not.
No, they did not. The guy that voiced Garfield was the guy that voiced Venkman in the real Ghostbusters, which was
Lorenzo Music.
What's Lorenzo Music? Is that the guy?
That's the guy.
That's the guy. That's a great name.
That did Venkman.
And Garfield. Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Ooh, Arsenio Hall did Winston's voice in the cartoon.
What? Get the fuck out of here. Really?
Yeah, dude. For a year. 86 to 87. 91 episodes.
Cool. Sorry. I was just giving you a death for mentioning keep them separated.
That's fair enough. And cul-de-sacking out of the cartoon.
Shit looks like a stealth bomber, homie. Call this segregation, homie.
Oh, man.
Dude.
That's funny.
Roger Bumpass was Louis Tully in the cartoon. He's most famous as the voice of Squidward from SpongeBob.
Get the fuck out of here. Wow. That's pretty impressive.
Anyways, I love the cartoon. That's it. A cartoon to sec can die there if you want.
No. I mean, firstly, Ben, did you watch the cartoons as well?
Negative.
No? Okay.
Okay. I was deeply invested in both of the shows. Like, I
Yeah.
watched the Ghostbusters, but like, I don't know. Then when the whole thing was so weird with like the Ghostbusters and then the real Ghostbusters and all that shit. But clearly, real Ghostbusters was like the spinoff from the movie. Now, in another nugget,
God damn you and your
Sorry.
nuggets.
well, this one's good because Slimer wasn't Slimer until the cartoon. Slimer
Yeah.
was called Onion Head by the crew. He didn't have a name, dude, until the cartoon came out and then subsequently in the second film.
Yeah, he was pretty mega in
You
the
know?
cartoon.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of interesting
Sure. That is.
because I didn't even really I didn't really think about it until like I was like, oh yeah, right. He didn't have a name. It was just like that little weird green blob ghost, that eats everything.
Yeah.
Which was sort of like an analog of John Belushi from Animal House, because John Belushi was supposed to.
I could swear there was like merchandise from the movie that,
Maybe.
said Slimer. Like, I swear to God, I had like Ghostbuster baseball cards and like there was a Slimer card. Like, I don't know how much truth there is to that.
Mm.
All right.
It also might be that it's.
I mean, the movie people didn't call him that, but like it happened pretty quickly afterwards. I don't know if it was a
wouldn't
cartoon
surprise
or
me.
not, but
And for me, at least, the two movies and the cartoon all blend together, so I don't know anything about timing. When was Ghostbusters 2? Ghostbusters 2 was 89. Yeah, good 5 years. I remember very, very clearly. I probably saw Ghostbusters in the theater, but I very much remember Ghostbusters 2 in the theater because I was 9 years old. It was
Yeah,
like a huge
yeah.
thing.
yeah. As
Yeah,
per
right on.
usual, the second movie is your thing.
Yeah, dude, I'm the young shithead cousin, no doubt.
The young shithead cousin. Nice.
Yeah, I hated the cartoon. I was so into the movie, and I was just like, "What is this? Why do they look different? Why are they wearing different colors? Like, why? Like, I don't know. Just
Yeah,
that
that was
just
weird.
all bothered the shit out of me, and I could not
Yeah.
get into it.
The different colored suits definitely bothered me. I didn't understand that at all.
I was like, oh, at least Venkman sounds like Venkman, though.
Like, I mean, in sort of spirit, yeah.
Oh, I mean, considering
I think it's a great example. Go ahead.
Considering what?
that Bill Murray later went on to voice Garfield, I mean,
That's pretty
so
sweet.
weird, right?
very similar sounding voices is the point.
Yeah, sure.
Or Lenzo Music was like channeling Bill Murray
Yeah.
for Garfield and then just
Yeah.
channeled Bill Murray for Venkman,
Yeah.
I mean, Bill Murray's
Um,
voice is pretty good
anyways.
for Garfield, man. I haven't even seen it, but it just fits.
It does fit. But
I guess-
when Lorenzo Music did the voice, he sounded like Bill Murray
Yeah.
as Garfield.
I think he still does it.
as Garfield, Armand Asante.
I don't know. I don't know what Lorenzo Music sounds like when he talks. So I don't know
Sure,
if he's
yeah,
just
yeah.
like doing his. I don't know if it's like an H. John Benjamin thing where he just kind of uses his voice, or if
Yeah.
it's like a
Right.
a thing where he does voices, like
Yes.
Mel Blanc or something.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know either, man. I think he still does the voice of Garfield because now my kids are watching like a newer version of Garfield. It's all like computer generated and it
I hate that
sounds
shit.
exactly
But yeah.
like Lorenzo Music. I don't know. His voice is very distinct for sure. Anyway,
No, he's dead.
is he?
August 4th, 2001.
Wow. Well, obviously, the best Garfield will be Chris Pratt as Garfield because he does all the best voices.
Yeah.
I'm just going to rev your engine there, but
Chris Pratt. Yeah, Chris Pratt as Garfield. I don't know about that.
he
Is he
is.
Garfield?
Yeah.
Yeah.
New one. He's all the voices. It's a very strange Mario choice, but here we go.
Very much so. Okay, so continuing on.
Talk comedy. I think the comedy stuff is great.
The supernatural fantasy sci-fi shit was great too.
That's true. It's good. It's a what's not to love fucking movie, dude. I don't know. It's hard to talk about because it's everything is lovable. I love everything about it. I can't even come up with something that I don't like about it, to be honest.
Agree, but not only is everything lovable, like everything is in like equal measure, right? So, and if I had to really like get the tweezers out, I would say it's a science fiction, sort of fantasy movie first, done funnily.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like it's like
I'm
that
glad it was
stuff
done
really
funnily,
takes center stage. And like when we were talking about doing this last week, and I was saying like how great, like how I love Ray and how funny he is with like his techno babble, him and Spangler with the techno babble, Tobin's Spirit Guide, whatever. I think that I'm really holding on hard to my train of thought so I don't lose it. So it just
I think it's
slipped
lost.
out of my fingers right there.
You said it was sci-fi first and not comedy first.
Yeah, sci-fi first, because like there's so much in that space. Like they really go deep into the lore of like Gozer and Zool and all of that stuff, man. I mean, like everybody knows all of that shit because it's so well explained in the movie, dude. You know what I mean? And like the whole thing with the building being like an antenna for psychic energy, freeform repeating vapors, like all that shit.
That's got to be 100% Dan Aykroyd. All that shit.
100%. He wrote it. Him and Harold Ramis wrote the movie, man. Yeah, and in another great nugget is that Ivan Reitman was working with two people, and what they were working on was a version. They were working on adapting Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and putting Murray and or Aykroyd in the title role. And Aykroyd sent them his treatment for this movie, and they were like, you know what? Let's do that instead.
Yeah,
no
right.
shit.
That's crazy.
Is that cool or what?
Totally.
Yeah, very much so, especially since we're big fans of that movie.
Fuck yeah. And the IP.
And I can't really imagine anybody but Stephen Fry narrating it and all those actors being in the movie, man. Yeah, I think it's a science fiction first, man. You know what I mean? And it's like, sort of done in a comedy style, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure that could be debated extensively, but I don't know. It's kind of what I think, to Ben's point. Like it's really good. There's some excellent lore, dude. There's fucking awesome gadgets, great tech, all made up by these guys,
Some
I'm
sick
sure.
Gadgets.
Right? The
Like
fucking
legendary
gadgets were amazing,
props,
dude.
Legit.
Yeah, I know, and it
legendary
wasn't
props.
and it's not until now that like, I remember 8 months ago going into Target and I found a fucking Ghostbusters PKE meter. And I'm like, why the fuck did this come out now? Where was this when where was this 40 years ago when I was a kid, dude, Had the little thingies that fucking raised up on the side, with the lights, dude. So
You spent 45 minutes there in like that back of the aisle of Target or whatever.
No, you know how that went, dude. I was standing there just fucking mesmerized, dude. All I could hear was, Dad.
I like how your kids have to get you out of the toy aisle, whereas for me it's like, oh my god, kids, it's time to go.
And when I'm being a hard ass, dude, I'm pretending 100% because all I want to do is goof around in the toy aisle, dude. So like, so yeah, that's what I think. I think it's a comedy. Secondarily, but it's that typical brand of comedy that we get, from Aykroyd, this crew. Like it's a lot of great slapstick, dude, and a lot of, sort of a lot of goofy faces and some pratfalls and all that kind of thing, man. It's good like that,
Yeah.
Ghost blowjobs.
What's that? Nose jobs?
Yeah, the ghost blowjobs. Who doesn't want a ghost blowjob?
So weird. It's so weird.
Yeah, it is, but it's also great. It's
You
very
didn't
national.
nugget out on that one?
What's that?
You didn't nugget out on that one?
I didn't find any nuggets about that. There was more than I
All
could
right.
read. What do you got?
Yeah. No, I just remember hearing that, like, that was like a whole thing. The ghost blowjob thing was like a longer, like that dream sequence was like a longer thing, apparently. And they
Oh,
ended
really?
up cutting it out and just going with the blowjob. Yeah.
Really? No,
I don't
didn't
remember
see the
exactly
ratings
what
board
the
getting
deal was,
involved.
but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
Anyways,
I'm gonna strongly resist the urge to look that up.
Yes, that's a good idea.
Yeah, sorry. I'm sure, and I don't know. I don't really think we would have needed to see more than that. You know, I don't think that's like stuff like that.
I'm not
is
saying we
this-
wanted to see anymore. I'm just saying it's an interesting story.
It
Yeah.
isn't. It's definitely interesting, dude. You know, I mean, it's even interesting that what they left in there was included because it almost
All the
the
teetotals
movie
have been
is-
pretty upset
is-
about that. You know, morning show bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, the movie's so vanilla, man. You know what I mean? In terms like it's very funny and it's very good, but it's also very mild. There's not a lot of swearing in it. I mean, yeah, there's smoking, but that was pretty par for the course in 1984. You know, drinking, whatever. But like, I don't know. The rest of the movie's pretty vanilla. You know.
No doubt.
What else?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Dude, I just cannot get over how fucking punchable William Atherton is. I just...
Oh, dude!
I wonder how many
great
times he's
nugget about
actually been
him.
punched in his life by people.
Dude, there is a whole nugget about that exact
Really?
thing, man, and I will find it and read it to you, man. Atherton, after the film's release, William Atherton became reviled when he was running into director Ivan Reitman one day. He was furious and upset by how people treated him. He told him that he couldn't even go into a bar without people wanting to pick a fight with him.
No shit.
In another incident, Atherton was walking down a stretch of 7th Avenue in New York City, which was entirely crowded with school buses, when he heard lots of children shouting at the top of their lungs, "Hey, Dickless."
That's pretty awesome and horrible for him.
Right?
I mean, that
It's
is
funny
such a
though,
great
right?
line, too, with the mayor. He's like, what do you think? He's like, he is, in fact, ridiculous.
Yes. And I
Doesn't
mean,
have a dick.
look, I've said this numerous times on the show. Like, he's, you know, the best compliment you can get as an actor is like, if you're playing a douchey
Yeah.
character and the person's like, I fucking hated you, you know, it's like, great, good, I did my job right. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, like, that guy for me was just such a douche. Like, he was a douche in Real Genius. He was a douche in this. He was a douche in Die Hard 2, 1, 2, whatever, all of them, 2, 3, 4. Like, that was his thing, and he was really good at it, and he did a great
So
job with
good
it.
at it.
And he did a great job with Peck, dude. He's so memorable, man. I mean, my God, dude. Everybody remembers him because of that, and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah. That school bus shit is hilarious. Oh, he was also Dr. Noah Faulkner in Biodome. That's another one where I fucking
That's
hated him.
right, with the long hair. So great. So great. I mean, I will say to his discredit, I think he got kind of pigeonholed into that
He did, yeah.
kind of character, you know, unfortunately, but
Oh, well.
he was just so damn good at it, man. You know, come on.
He made his bread. Got some money.
Sure did. What else has Annie Potts been in, Chad?
Dude, I don't know. I love her so
I
hard.
don't either. I know. I did
She's
too.
so
and I feel like
80s.
this is like so 80s, but I feel like this is the only thing I know her from, man.
I feel like she was like, she should have been one of the singers in fucking B-52. Is like, she just, she's
Right.
Bo Peep in Toy Story. Toy Story 4 maybe.
Really?
Pretty in Pink. Which has been a long time. I haven't seen that in a long time.
Oh, that's right. She was like the shop owner in Pretty in Pink. Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I don't recall her in a lot of stuff, but I just, yeah, she's such a classic 80s iconic,
Designing women. Yeah,
like Ali
Designing
Sheedy-esque
Women.
kind of quirky.
86 to
character.
93, she did Designing Women. I remember that show.
Sure.
I mean, I didn't watch it, but
It was
Ooh,
Harry Crumb.
she's
It
in
was
the
a
new.
Candy movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Yeah,
Not
not a lot
enough.
of stuff that came
Not
across
enough is the
my
story.
frame. Yeah, and not enough. Yeah, and not enough, clearly, but
Yeah, I mean, really, the Toy Story Bo Peep would be her most famous role, probably outside of this. but you wouldn't know it was her. That's like a mega franchise.
Mm-hmm. It is a mega franchise.
Her accent was just killer in this, man.
Spot on. Perfect New York, perfect nerdy, perfect all that. The guy that played the violinist, Timothy Carhart, he's been in a lot of shit. He plays a good weasel. He's played a good weasel in a lot of movies in the 80s and beyond. Beverly Hills Cop 3, this, that, and the third.
Who's Bill Steiner, the character from Hunt for Red October? He was in that. I don't remember that character.
Yeah, I think he was one of the CIA people, but I'm
Yeah,
not
okay.
sure. It was either that or he was one of the people on the boat. It's a sub-off.
It's and he was in a bunch of Yellowstone. I haven't seen that, but I imagine you would recognize him.
I'm doing Yellowstone chronologically. I started with 1883.
Okay.
I'm moving to 1923 next, and then I'll be doing the series, I guess. Hang on a second. It's really David Margulies. He's in a bunch of stuff. Runyon was in a bunch of stuff.
Besides Jennifer Runyon, I feel like Rick Moranis steals the show.
Well, dude, yeah, Jennifer Runyon doesn't steal the show. She did when we were 10, but like,
Yeah.
there's no question Rick Moranis steals the show here, dude. I mean, like that guy, I don't know, dude. He's a phenom, dude. I don't know. I feel like he just kind of faded out too.
He literally did. Yeah, he stepped away.
Like in the sense of like, yeah, he just kind of slithered out the back door. Like he started doing a lot of kids movies, you know, probably when he had kids. Not a huge surprise there, but like, you know, he just kind of slithered out the back door, and he was just so good in everything he did, man. He just brought so much, you know, always brought so much energy and so much skill, so much comedy to every performance, man. It was
just
great.
looking at his thing here, he says, following the death of his wife in 91 and the difficulty of raising kids on his own, his disenchantment with Hollywood, he took a couple years off and it just turned into a forever thing. So that could make sense.
I'm not surprised, dude. Yeah, I'm not surprised at all.
Wife died of breast cancer. That's terrible.
Dude, that's awful, man. In 91? I didn't know that.
Yeah, with a couple of kids, probably young kids. Yeah, he's just such a phenomenal actor, man. He's just so goddamn funny.
Well, he's able to work in like so many spaces, man. He can really be good in an ensemble and play a minor character, and then really take that character and bring him just so much depth, you know what I mean? And bring him to the forefront. And then he can also play a lead very easily, man, and carry him.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids,
you know, as
dude.
he did with like the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and Little Giants and like all these kinds of, you know, movies that he did, you know. He's really good like that. I think if I had like one wish for Moranis, man, it would be if like he had stuck around, it would have been great to see him do, as a comedic actor, do some serious roles, because he could have really crushed the shit out of a man. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
It would have been cool to see that we never got to see, but you know, hey ho, right?
Totally. So funny in this, man.
What else?
For whatever reason, it's bits and bobs, but for whatever reason, the party scene where he's got all the people and he's got clients over or whatever, and he's like, "This is John." He's he's got $50,000 left on his mortgage, and he's like just giving away all their financial secrets and shit.
You just cut out right at the important part there. I didn't catch that. What?
Fucking Zoom. Just the scene where he's having the party and he's like, this is John. He's got $50,000 left on his mortgage, and his income is this. And he's like giving away all of the dudes like financial secrets as like an introduction. I just thought that was really funny. There's so much fucking hilarious shit in there.
He's like got so many levels of nerd in this movie, dude. Like, you got the science nerds, right? And then you got the tax nerd, and like he does to like the tax nerdery, like so what Ray does to like the ghost nerdery. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
Like, he's so good, man. Hey, everybody, this is Ted and Annette.
It's so good. And even later, so like at the end of the movie, he's like, "Who does your taxes?"
Giving away
such a quippy
giving away all his
man.
tax secrets.
It's fucking great.
always, and well, he's always hustling, dude. I like that. You know what I mean? And like even when he's like, going around the party, like talking about all the stuff there, she's like, "Hey, do you?" Everything is a sale for his tax service, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she's like, "Hey, do you have Louis? Do you have any aspirin?" He's like, "No, I don't. I got some acetylsalicylic acid. I get 600 of the generic ones instead of 100 of the name brand. You know, it's a great way to save money. You know, blah blah blah." And it always ends up with this like tax pitch, dude. That's what's so fucking great about him, dude. You know, he's talking about the smoked salmon. He does the same thing, dude. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. The TV one too, where it's like, yeah, I heard your TV really loud, so I turned my TV real loud too. So it did. It's just like, all right, man.
No. I didn't. I don't know why I didn't really catch this. The TV, turning the TV up loud, always stuck out to me. But like, he actually goes on this whole litany of this list of things he does before he gets to raising his volume on the TV. He's like, first I tried to climb out on the ledge and disconnect the cable, but I couldn't do it, so I came back inside. Oh man,
Guy's a fucking gem, man.
And then, like, you know, the thing about that character, man, is that like it's really funny when he's like nerding out and being an accountant, dude. Then he turns into the keymaster.
Yeah.
And somehow it gets even funnier, man. Like
No
he's
doubt.
just so whacked out and weird, you know,
Talking
being
about a horse.
possessed. And like the choices that he made were just so goddamn good and so funny, man. Like the yes, have some, and you know, just like sniffing the giant jar of popcorn. You know, turning it over and sniffing it and like all of that shit and sitting there with that stupid colander on his head, dude. It's just so fucking funny, man.
No doubt.
You know, then at the end, you know, and like the credits are rolling and the movie's just wrapping up and like everybody gets taken away and like they'll jump into Ecto 1. And he's like, he literally says like, no, I want to go with them. And they're like, nah, we're going to need you to come over here and go in the ambulance.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, it's so good. I love it. Yeah, really, really good performance. One of his best for sure.
Sure, man. Are we bitsing?
Oh yeah, let's do it, man. There's plenty of them. Let's do it.
You gotta bits the Stay Puffed, man. I don't know. I find that so charming with Stans, where she's like, you know, Zool's like, you know, come up with the whatever, the destroyer, and everyone's like, I'm not thinking about anything, and then it just goes to stage. It's like, I tried not to, you know, like I was thinking about what the best thing could be.
Yes.
When I was a little kid,
Yes.
this giant marshmallow man, like it's just fucking so good. Like I don't know, it feels like an Aykroydism, like in the writing room, but it's just so good, man.
Well, it's so him too, totally. And I think like, I don't know, I'm a sucker for like fake made up products for movies, man, and that is a great one.
One of the best.
Probably one of the best outside of out of a Tarantino movie, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
my kids love
it's
Stay
just
Puft,
so
too.
good.
Like we watched the not Frozen Empire, the Falcon punching
Afterlife or whatever.
hawk killer one, the first one. What was that kid's name? Wolfhard
Falcon
Fin
punching hawk. Oh,
Bag.
yeah, Afterlife.
Yeah, that one. Where there's a bunch of little mini marshmallow men in the grocery store, and they were like, rewind it.
Right?
We watched like 50 times. Like the kids love that shit.
Nice. I still haven't seen Afterlife. I need to watch it.
It's good.
Yeah, yeah, it's really good, you know, Stay Puft. Like, I didn't see that coming at all either. I remember seeing this in the theater too, man, which was great. And like, you know, he's like, empty your mind, you know, and he's just like, sorry.
But that doesn't, that's like the classic thing that doesn't work, you know? Well, like, what is it, like, don't think of an elephant. Everyone thinks of an elephant. Like,
exactly. You just put it in my head, you know? So it's like, I don't know. Yeah, didn't see it coming. Really, really great. Great, weird, funny way to like, I mean, it's brilliant because like,
raise the stakes, but also not.
Yeah, it raises the stakes. It's really funny. And it's also like fucking terrifying because you realize that this thing is like literally coming to kill them all. You know what I mean? And then like, I mean, it's like real, you know? It's not like goofy and dumb. Like, it's like destroying shit, you know? And then they blast it and it's like all, you know? Like, I don't know. It was cool. It was a really good choice, man. You know, that and like Gozer. The chick really scared the hell out of me, dude. I thought she scared me when I was a kid. I think she was, you know, super weird looking. Another great nugget. That was supposed to be played by Paul Rubens, believe it or not.
Really?
And that did not. Yeah, yeah, that did not happen, and I don't know
Okay.
why, but
I like that.
so there you go. Yeah, I do too, man. I wish he would have done it. You know?
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, Gozer, the whole fight at the end, great, good. I mean, obviously, very, very cool sets and special effects, man. You know, like
Dogs.
the way they made that top of that building and that, you know, like made that door, you know, similar to the fridge, like how it looked like it was like infinite space when you open the door, you know, like that's the way the rooftop looked too. And I really, really like that a lot, man. And plus, you know, we really got to see them cut the fuck loose with those proton packs, you know, like it was one of those things where like, it was like, oh my God, here's this nerdgasm device, dude. And like, you know, it does not disappoint. They fully deliver and we fully get, you know, just tons of proton pack action at the end, dude. It's great, you know.
Sure.
Culminating with using it to slice and dice and roast up Mr. Stay Puffed, you know.
Yeah, man. Across the streams.
Cross the streams, bro. Don't cross the streams. Wait, cross the streams? Yeah. It was good. So, I don't know. Yeah, that's what I think about that.
Got the bits.
What else? What else you like, Chad?
You have any bits, Benny?
I don't know. We've gone over a lot of it already. Everything with Rick Moranis is great. I don't know when Peter goes to Dana's house for his date and she's like full on zooled out.
Dude.
Like that whole bit's pretty funny.
Yeah, no doubt. I want
It
you
is.
beside me.
Sub creature.
I think you have enough you. I think there's enough of you in there already, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just great. Good stuff.
And then when he like dopes her up with the Thorazine, dude, she's just laying on the bed. It's like freaky, man. Sigourney Weaver did a really good job of that. She's like laying on the bed, like it's so creepy.
I love Sigourney, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and she's like so super 80s hot, like
Oh
when
my
she
God.
opens the door,
So-
you know,
Oh
like,
my
dude.
God.
Totally.
like just the whole look is like just
like the cheek rouge and shit, dude.
80s,
Totally.
super fucking hot. Yeah,
Totally,
she
man.
just goes psycho, and you're like, what the fuck?
I know.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that today, actually, Ben, when I was watching it. I was looking at the rouge on the face and like the makeup. I was like, dude, she's like straight out of like a Bowie video. Dude,
No
you
doubt.
know? Like,
Yeah.
it was
that,
great.
like,
And then like,
that, like weird, sparkly, boxy fucking dress she's wearing. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah. And
And the giant
the other
hair.
thing that's, oh yeah, that hair was so 80s, and so her in the 80s too, man. You know, and like,
Yeah.
the other thing that really struck me too, like it's kind of weird, and unless I missed something, it's kind of inexplicable too. Like, you know, we go along, she turns into Zool, like all that kind of thing, and they leave her there, and then she's just kind of there for a couple of days. You know what I mean? While the Ghostbusters are like figuring out what the hell to do, right? And like, and then all of a sudden, like, they show her in the apartment, and then she stands up, and then just like the corner wall just blows out of the building, right? And then she just sits down, and she's just like lounging in that fucking horrible pink chair, dude, with the wall completely gone. Like, it was so like, I don't know what, man, like total 80s video. Like, it was just really funny, man. I never really like paid much attention to it until today when I watched it. I just thought it was
Totally.
funny.
There's some serious 80s action going on. No doubt about it.
Definitely. Love the Ecto one. I mean, it's
What's not to
more than an
love?
iconic. I mean, it's more than an iconic movie vehicle at this point in time, dude. But I mean, it's just so great, dude. It is so fucking great.
Oh, I'll open that up to every single gadget in the movie.
Yeah.
Like everything that they, you know, from the proton packs to the traps to the jumpsuits to the, you know, the like master, you know, trap in the basement, like all that shit. Like,
Dude,
right?
that
just
master trap in the basement
amazing.
caught me this watching. I was just like, fuck, that's such a cool thing. Yeah.
And also the
Yeah,
in to go along with that. Go ahead, Ben.
I don't know. I was going to say, and including like the set designs, you know, for, you know, like the in the fridge and at the end of the movie, all that shit. Like
Phenomenal.
Oh, sure.
really, really, really top notch special
Top
effects.
tier, yeah.
And gadgets and like great practical effects and just really like top tier props.
No doubt.
Mm.
And even just how lived in the firehouse felt, like even just that attention to detail, you know? Yeah, totally.
100%. 100%. My favorite would have to be the United Technologies Bacharach 300 series sniffer that Venkman uses when he's checking out Dana Barrett's apartment.
Are you sure you were using that the right way?
I think so. It seems so worthless. It's for, sniffing out noxious gases. It can be calibrated to a variety of different gases. This is what he didn't tell Dana. I'm just, I'm filling in the audience.
Right. Headcanon.
So
Very
they know.
good. Very good. Very good.
Yeah, the gadgetry was excellent, man. I was just a huge fan of the PKE meter, I just love that thing. Those wings flipping up with those fucking yellow lights. I thought that was so cool, man. I mean, obviously the proton packs are a big deal, but like the traps were cool as shit. Like everything, like I don't know which one of you just said that like the firehouse felt really lived in, but the gadgets also felt very like well used and lived as well. Not only that, but like well thought out. Like, and I think the credit goes to Dan Aykroyd. Like he's such a great nerd, dude, and he's all about stuff like that. And like I think he loves, and this has got to be from something he used to see when he was a kid growing up, dude. Like just people explaining shit like that in depth. You know what I mean? Because he does that and he puts that level of detail in there, and I think it's great. It just adds to the canvas of the film,
Yeah, no doubt.
It's really great and really fun.
I'd put this for me like up with like an Alien or a Star Wars.
Technobabble.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
Yeah.
What's that, buddy?
I just said I'd put this up with like an Aliens and a Star Wars, and then Benny was talking about the Technobabble. Yeah, totally, dude. The Technobabble is just, it sells the shit out of it.
Oh, God, dude. It's probably one of my favorite things.
Nobody does it like Dan Aykroyd, too.
It really does.
No,
yeah. Yeah.
No, and I think I feel like it's similar to like what he does with the Joe Friday character in Dragnet, which I just watched again in the last month. But what he does in Dragnet, it's the penal code. In this, it's like the gadgets, the technology, the lore about the spirit world,
But same with Spies Like Us. He even brings it there, a bit,
Yes.
Yeah, it was just a 343 repeater with multiple nulls.
Good.
That's totally that's totally him, man. You're right, from Spies Like Us.
Yeah. He just throws it out there with authority and such like
confidence.
Like it just comes out of his mouth so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with such confidence that it's so charming.
Yeah, and I think conviction, depending on the character, depending on the movie, there's conviction. Like certainly with the case of Joe Friday, and then also like there's a matter of factness about it. Like, yeah, this is what it is. Everybody knows this. You know what I mean?
Gravitas, gravitas, Kev.
Yeah,
No doubt.
Yeah, it's good like that.
Fucking Coneheads, dude. We gotta do Coneheads sometime.
Oh, I know, my God, dude. There's another movie where he does that. Narfel the Garthog.
He's so good. Yeah, man. I don't know. It's just there's just so much legendary shit going on here. And I said a minute ago, like we don't need to go back to it, but the legendariness of the props and stuff, to me, is the same caliber as Aliens or Star Wars. Like I agree. Just proper fucking legendary status stuff.
Mm-hmm. Iconic, absolutely. What about what else? What else did you guys like? Bits and bobs.
I did like when Atherton kind of gets his comeuppance with the mayor, where Beckman's like,
I love that. Everybody loves that.
Millions of registered voters. And Atherton's like, no, don't do it. It's like, got you, motherfucker. I love that.
I know. But the mayor does it in the best possible way, and the Ghostbusters, and thusly the viewer gets vindicated when the mayor goes, "Get him out of here."
Yeah,
that's what he says. And then, I mean, like in the real world, it's like, yeah, it doesn't work that way. But Bill Murray's like, "I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna get you a nice fruit basket."
It's fun, great, man. I don't know. Mayor was funny.
Yeah, so
old
good.
School New York mayor action.
Really, really good. What else?
That's a lot of the big hitting stuff. The library scene, I don't know as much to say there. It's pretty classic. The hotel is pretty good. The Pratt Folly shit of like the maitre d' or the manager being like, your room will be ready, and they're just smashing the living shit out of everything.
He's all nervous too. Keeps
There's like a
walking
little
over there.
moment where
So good.
Spengler is walking down the hallway, and there's like a dude trying to go into his hotel room, and he just like pushes him a little bit just to see if he's real. I don't know. For whatever reason, I really like that little micro moment.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of little micro moments like that. I think, you know, when he's like, "Oh, I've always wanted to do this," and he tries to like whip off that tablecloth without breaking or moving anything. And it's like, it's a massive table. Like, you know, it's a function hall table, dude.
Yeah, it's like 14-seater or something.
Everything just gets destroyed. It's so stupid.
But we've all wanted to do it.
Still
We've all wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the beauty of it. All right. Wrap it up. NDR.
Wrap it up, fuzzball. Sure.
Boy.
You got all the nugs, dude.
There's a lot of them, man, and I've already let loose a lot of them. So Eddie Murphy. The other thing too, Michael Keaton was approached to play, I think one or two characters, Venkman and Venkman and I think Stantz as well. Turned them both down.
Yeah, right.
He's a great. He's a. I think Michael Keaton is one of the best, possibly a very underrated comedic actor as well.
Sure, man. Well, simplicity, bro.
I don't know. I don't know if I could have seen. I don't know if I could have seen him do that.
It's the perfect sauce here. It doesn't need any more seasoning. Like, I just can't imagine swapping something out, you know?
No, I think like the whole Eddie Murphy conversation at the beginning of this episode
same.
like, I feel super strongly about that. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it would have been like Murray was too strong of a person and an actor, and so was Eddie Murphy. I think that would have just clashed having two personalities like that, you know, and plus with Ernie Hudson again, like we get to be Ernie, you know, we get to go on that journey with him, which I think is key.
Yeah.
Okay, what else? Highest grossing comedy. Oh, Ron Jeremy has a cameo in this movie. He plays an extra in the background, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, when they're pulling up in the Ecto 1 to the firehouse, you can see him in the background. I was like, wow, that's so odd. Debbie Gibson also had a cameo in this movie. Like, I think she was an extra. She was in the Tavern on the Green when Louis Tully was like, you know, banging on the glass.
Oh, yeah.
Me. Yeah.
I gotta take a moment. For whatever reason, something you just said sparked a memory, and I need to Nuggety Bob a shout out to the Ecto Cooler juice boxes. Do you remember Ecto Coolers, bro?
Dude, definitely. Are you kidding me? I think those
Fucking
things are still around.
Are they?
Or either that, or we looked them up on this show though, man. Back,
I watched a whole thing about that, and like, there are these people that are so obsessed with it that they're like trying to come up with the perfect recipe.
Oh, right. I love
Oh
it.
my god,
What's the matter, Keo? To replicate it, although they may have re-released it since then, but it was like a thing for a while where people were just like, trying to dial that in with just the right stuff.
One of those things that people were going hard on, dude. So the Ecto Cooler was released it was made by High C, and it was released in 1989 for anybody out there that cares.
Dude, it was in like every lunchbox in the fucking country for a while.
Yeah, it was a repurpose of the citrus cooler, which had been around since the 60s.
Dude, High C.
That was it.
I don't know. Just shout out to the Ecto Cooler. I love it.
Yeah, shout out to the Ecto Cooler. This came in a can. I don't see a juice box, although I do remember a juice box being a thing.
No, it was a juice
there
box.
is a... Okay, so... Holy shit.
I'm ready to
you
stake
can
my
buy a
reputation
can of High C Ecto Cooler. You can buy a can of High C Ecto Cooler color changing for $10 on eBay. Or you can buy... Now that looks original. This other one is a bottle. It says High C Ecto Cooler 2021 Ghostbusters Afterlife Promotional Ecto Cooler, very rare, $450.
Right
That is freaking insane. So stupid. Of course, some nerd took a picture in front of his computer. Yeah, gee, what a shocker. It looks like somebody else has an entire case of it, dude, for $99. The cans.
Oh, you can get
limited
key lime slime Twinkie Ecto Cooler slimed energy drink.
Coolers.
There's Slimer Twinkies. You can get a combo
Ugh. What? Where the hell do you see that?
on eBay.
Oh, that's gross. Holy shit. Anyway,
Shout out to the Ecto Coolers. There's an Nuggety Bob for you.
that is a Nuggety Bob for you. Nuggety Bob. Nuggety Bob really liked when we shouted out Nuggety Bob. So here you go again, Nuggety Bob. There's a Nuggety Bob.
There you go. We miss you.
What else? That dang firehouse, man. God, that
So
thing was
sick.
super cool. So that thing, a couple things with that. So there were two firehouses used for that. So the exterior one exists in New York City, and then the interiors they used one that's in L.A. right to do all the interior stuff. And now this part's really cool. So when Harold Ramis died, a lot of people went to the firehouse in New York City, and they created a makeshift memorial featuring Nestle's Crunch Bars because that's what Venkman gives him when he goes, "Oh, you deserve it." They made it out of Nestle Crunch Bars, Twinkies, and collections of spores, molds, and fungus, which I think is awesome.
Chef's kiss.
So good, you know.
You should watch the new one now that this one's super fresh for you, Kev.
I want to watch. I'm thinking about watching it tonight because it's on something for free.
You should definitely watch it. Like I think it'll hit the nostalgia buttons for you.
Do I need to watch Afterlife first for Frozen Empire?
Yeah, watch Afterlife. That's what I'm talking about, not Frozen Empire. Any other nugs, man? We're wrapped up here. Wrap it up, Fuzzball.
Yeah, I know. We're in the middle of it there, Fuzzball. So the role of Venkman was originally written for Belushi, but of course he died. And so the inspiration for, Onionhead / Slimer, that was Belushi, and from the food fight scene in
Animal House,
which Ramis also wrote. So that's where that whole thing came from. I just can't imagine the movie with John Belushi, man. It's hard to imagine it with anybody but Bill Murray. But maybe I could see Belushi doing it. Maybe.
Sure.
I'm gonna move quickly through these other ones. The Terror Dogs were actually statues on a building in Philadelphia, and they sort of just kind of copied them,
lifted them. That's cool.
Kind of interesting, right? Also, let's see here. That's about it. This one I thought was interesting too. John Candy turned down the role of Louis Tully. And really? I guess because, it says he turned down the role because his ideas for the character were rejected. And he took the character in a completely different direction. So this is pretty funny, dude. I guess this was on the DVD commentary, right? So he wanted the character to have a German accent and have a pair of Schnauzer dogs.
Hey, man.
So no one felt that a German accent was appropriate for the character. Since there was already dog imagery in the movie, they felt that having Tully own his own dogs was too much because he was going to turn into a terror dog. You know what I mean? I don't know.
That's pretty random. I like it.
Yeah, I can't imagine John Candy. I can totally see why he would,
He's a big boy too, though. I don't know. Something about Ramis being so small that I love.
You mean Tully being so small?
Tully, yeah.
That's Moranis. Yeah.
Moranis.
Yeah. And then last but not least, Chevy Chase turned down the role of Peter Venkman.
Fine by me. I love Chevy, but fucking no way.
No way. No fucking way at all. Anyway. That's it. Deaths. We have
I just
one.
died
Chad
there. I don't think you recorded it.
Oh, what was that? Sorry.
Not saying Ramis' character right and saying somebody else.
Oh. You mean Moranis' character right?
I did it again. That's a double death.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
You did.
Hang on.
Dead motherfucker.
That's right. And so I'm going to just copy paste that. Okay, so first you had a hat trick. You had the keep them separated death, which I secretly gave you.
You do have to keep them separated.
You do. You're right. You do. You have to keep them separated. So you had that, and then you had the the now famous not saying Moranis' character right twice. That's it. moving on to recommendations, I'll go ahead and go first for everybody. I would absolutely recommend this movie. There's zero reason not to watch it. It's got something to love for everybody. It's a literal classic movie. It's as classic as the fucking Terminator. You know what I mean? Go see the movie. It's great. A great mix of science fiction and comedy. That's it. Next person. Next contestant.
Yeah, I think it's pretty unlikely anyone has not seen this movie, and so maybe I would just finagle my recommendation to say it's worthy of a rewatch. It so thoroughly holds up that it's a joy to watch, and it was also really fun to watch with my younger kids, so 6 and 3, and they both loved the shit out of it. And like my little 3-year-old with her little blanket up around her eyes a couple times, and you like give her a little snuggle, and she's like, oh, like she really like had a great time. It was really fun.
Oi, Daddy, is he going to be farting in this scene?
I have a young British daughter.
Yes,
yes,
like?
It's true. Yeah, it's exactly what
probably,
she sounds like. Yeah,
it's probably pretty close. That was Aussie, dude. I'm working on it for weeks.
All about the farting, mate.
Farts. That's actually one of her little things now. Is she'll just randomly like fart. She thinks it's really funny. So
yeah,
it's an Aussie
kids
thing.
Do that. They think farts are funny.
So do Aussies.
Awesome, man. Benny, your recommendation? Not any surprise, I'm sure.
Fuck this movie. No.
Don't watch it.
So getting off to a really bad start with not giving this any high level of, this was probably like the formative movie for me. I mean, it's quintessential 80s shit right up there with, Weird Science and Ferris Bueller's and Aliens and Terminator and all these movies. Like, I was such a fucking Ghostbusters head when I was a kid. Like, the minute I saw it, I was just like, I was in. Like, I had to have like the T-shirt and the poster, and I was like waiting to see it again. And I think even like the first 45 record that I bought when I was a kid was the Ghostbusters theme.
Sure, man.
Shit, I have one of those too. In fact, I still have it. I have it downstairs.
So this is like huge for me, and it's just the perfect mixture of comedy and sci-fi and supernatural fantasy, whatever you want to call it. It's fucking terrific. If you haven't seen it, then what the fuck are you waiting for? Go see it. If you have seen it, then watch it again. It's worth it. It still holds up. The effects hold up. It's fucking great.
Yeah, I watched it twice. Once this week, once last week. It was great. Slab, what are we doing next week? I mean, Slave 2. What are we doing next week?
Betty proposed a new John Cena movie. Some crazy,
what's that?
Fucking actiony, murdery movie called Jackpot. So we're gonna check that out. Hopefully, it's beekeeper-tastic. I'm excited. I'm liking these new. It
sounds exciting.
Movies.
Yeah, it sounds exciting, and I love John Cena. So there you go, folks. Jackpot next week. Hey, looks like you guys have hit the jackpot next week. How about that? Huh?
How about you're fucking dead, man?
A comedy's free. Don't forget that, folks.
It's more purposefully comedic than Beekeeper is.
All right. I mean, Cena, he's hilarious. I could buy that.
It's a comedy, but there's lots of action.
Awesome. Additionally, folks, as one last note, we'd like to give a special shout out tonight to one of our listeners, one of our old time listeners who's been with us since the beginning, and that would be John Pyburn. We just wanted to give a shout out to him and hope you're having a well and speedy recovery. And that's it. Thanks so much, everybody.
Yeah, bro.
And thanks to you, John.
Yeah, dude.
So thanks for joining us for the iconic Ghostbusters. We'll see you next week for Jackpot, folks. So long for now.
We'll see you next week for Jack Chop.
Jack Chop.
And that's going to wrap up this week's episode, folks. If you'd like to check out the show notes for this episode, you can do it. And you can do it in your podcast app of choice or at our website, ebd.fm/episodes/282. Additionally, this is the point in the outro where we like to thank everybody for tuning into the show and supporting us all these, 5 years that we've been doing this. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. It really means a lot to us. And so for anybody that's looking to do just that, the best ways you can support us are by reviewing us, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Tell your friends and your people to check out the show. It really helps us out a lot. And we really appreciate it when you do. So thank you very much. If you guys would like to join in on the conversation, join in on Instagram. We use the handle @EBE Podcast. We need people to comment. We need people to check out the feed. Keep the conversation from the show going. That's what we're aiming to do. So jump in and comment. And we promise we'll get on there more. I promise I will get on there more, as I have been notably absent from Instagram. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for joining us for whatever this movie was. And we'll see you next week for Jack Chop. So long for now, folks.
Jack Chop. Jack Chop.
Beady, beady, beady. Stop into it.